My name is Catherine Herring, and I'm here today as a survivor of domestic violence. I was the victim of the abortion pill poisoning in Texas. My husband poisoned me 7 times with abortion pills in attempts to kill my daughter, Josephine.
Why was he against you having this child, and how did this happen 7 times?
We were recently separated, and my pregnancy was a surprise. We have 2 other children, and he asked for a separation to work on himself, and about a week later I found out I was pregnant. And we were all shocked and surprised, and he said that the pregnancy would ruin his plans and make him look like a jerk.
So rather than look like a jerk, he chose to try to poison you 7 times. Wow. And each time, did you know that this was happening? Did you have physical side effects? How did you know it was happening?
So the first drink was the only drink that I consumed. I didn't know, obviously, that he had spiked it. And I got violently ill, ended up in an emergency room with a urine sample that was black in color. The doctors suspected I was going into kidney failure, and we started an antibiotic regimen. And then from there, with each of the next 6 drinks, I pretended to take them, and I kept them as evidence. And I worked with a private investigator, and ultimately we put hidden cameras in my house and caught him making the 7th drink, the last drink. And so I was able to then go to the Houston Police Department, provide them with all the evidence I had obtained, and he was arrested.
Wow. Now, do you know when he was putting these chemical cocktails in your drinks, was he using the prescribed amount, or was he guessing? Do you know any details about that?
No, it was definitely not the prescribed amount. In each drink, we could see the powder. Once we knew what was happening, we started, very carefully assessing each drink, and we could see half an inch of powder in the bottom of some of the drinks. The powder is non-soluble, so it would clump up at the top. But he was using an enormous amount of powder each poisoning.
And do you know where he was getting this?
We now know through text messages that there was an accomplice who has not been prosecuted, not been questioned, and that they were crossing the border and going into Mexico to obtain some of the pills.
Wow, okay. And so your husband has been arrested. Do you know if he is facing any prison time for this?
Yes, so he entered a plea deal. He pled guilty about a month ago, and his plea deal included 10 years of probation and 180 days in jail, which is less than 26 days per attempt on my daughter's life.
Did your daughter survive?
She survived.
Wow, how old is she now?
She's 18 months. Yeah.
That's amazing.
She's amazing. She's a miracle.
Can you tell us a little more about her?
Yeah. Josephine is just the sweetest little 18-month-old. She has a lot of health issues, a lot of developmental delays. She has spent many months in the hospital and ICU. She has a feeding tube in her abdomen. I'm just so grateful that she's alive.
Wow, it's incredible that she is alive and survived these 7 attempts on her life. So you're saying she has some side effects or some physical repercussions from those attempts on her life. Do you have any repercussions on your own life, your own health? Do you feel like those attempts negatively affected you at all?
Absolutely. I can't speak in great depth about it because we still have ongoing civil litigation and an ongoing divorce. But yes, I have chronic PTSD and have suffered greatly, obviously, from my husband poisoning me.
And why are you here today at the United States Supreme Court?
Yeah. I think it is important to lend my voice to the cause, to support women, and to be very vocal that this is a dangerous drug. I've ingested abortion pills. I know what the side effects were. And I just wanted to stand up for women's health and be an advocate that safety standards are important with this drug. 1 in 25 women end up in the emergency room after taking abortion pills.
Right, because that's something we hear a lot from pro-abortion activists is that these drugs are safe. You don't need to have them prescribed by a doctor in person. Do you agree with that argument?
No, I think medical personnel need to be involved. For the states that continue to offer abortion pills, there needs to be safety standards. There needs to be check-ins with doctors so that if there is an emergency, if there is something like what I experienced with severe abdominal pain, severe diarrhea, bleeding, to end up in the emergency room was terrifying, and I think health professionals need to be involved with such a dangerous drug.